all ready for the class, right? And I think my voice is audible to everyone. Yes, Yashwant Rishi. Good morning, Yashwant Rishi. Okay, so just we are going to continue with whatever we saw the last class. So last class, what we were seeing is, I think we were seeing about writing electronic configuration. Did we see about it? Did we see about writing electronic configuration? If so, please reply in the chat. Yes. Yes, we saw about writing electronic configuration. So hope I think I gave you all a homework. Yes. Did you all do the homework? Hopefully, most of you should have done the homework. Anyway, this class, we are just going to start from where we left. That is, we left with electronic configuration. This class, I'll do a small brush up over electronic configuration and we'll continue with the next. Okay. And this is my number. Okay, you can WhatsApp me all the homework that you have finished, or you can even share your homework in the Google Sheets. Okay. Anyway, so now we are going to write about your electronic, see about your electronic configuration. So last class, for example, we took an element called sodium. Symbol of sodium is Na. Why is symbol of sodium Na? Not only for sodium, for many metals or many elements, the symbol will be peculiar. For sodium, it is Na. For potassium, it is K. Okay. And then for gold, the symbol is Au. And then for your silver, 1 minute. Be in line, students, for a minute. Okay. For gold, the symbol is Au. And for silver, the symbol is Ag. Okay. And then you could also say, yes, you can send your WhatsApp in the, you can send your homework in the WhatsApp number, to the WhatsApp number. Okay. For sodium, we write it as Na. For potassium, you write it as K. For gold, you write it as Au. For silver, we write it as Ag, and it goes on, right? So we can also, we have, why is it like that? This is because for sodium, there is a Latin name, Latin or Greek name, you could say, that is natrium. And for potassium, the Latin or Greek name is kalium. Okay, for gold, it is aurum. For silver, it is argentium. Okay, so in this way, the elements are named actually. So the symbol of certain elements are named after their Latin or Greek name. Clear? So I'll just give you a summarization of all those elements. So the first one is sodium. It is named Na against its Latin name natrium. And the next element was potassium. Its symbol is K against its Latin name kalium. And you have your gold, Au. It's because aurum. Please take note of it, okay? And then you have your silver. Its symbol is Ag, argentium. Okay. Then what else you have is mercury. Its symbol is Hg. It's named after Hydra Gyrum. Okay, for iron, the symbol is Fe. It's named after ferrum. Okay, then also you have your copper. Its symbol is Cu, cuprum. Okay, what else have I left? Gold, silver, mercury, iron, copper, sodium, potassium. Do we have any more elements left, students? If you know, you can also say in the chat. Rishikesh, why were you absent for the last class? Now, in a common class, it is not possible for you to teach me. We'll find, yes, Tin Aditya Kumar, that is right. And Rishikesh, soon we'll find a solution to this, okay? I'll help you. Just listen to what I'm saying. You might get revised with whatever is being taught in the last class. Yes, Aditya Kumar, it is right. Tin lead. For tin, the symbol is Sn, and you name it as stannum. And lead, the symbol is Pb, and you name it as plumbum. Clear? So these are all the elements. Platinum, it's the same. The platinum symbol is Pt Yashwantrishi. Okay, there won't be much change in the symbol of platinum and all. It's Pt. Now I think hopefully I have covered most of the elements with its Greek or Latin name. Anyway, so please do remember the symbols. Okay. So again, I'm repeating. For sodium, the symbol is Na, natrium. Potassium, the symbol is, for copper, it is not C, it is Cu. Okay. Anyway, for potassium, the symbol is K, calcium. For gold, Au, aurum. Silver, Ag, argentium. Mercury, Hg, hydrargyrum. Iron, Fe, ferrum. Copper, Cu, cuprum. Tin, Sn, stannum. Lead, Pb, plumbum. Clear? So these are all the elements and its symbol. Hope you all have noted it down. Okay. So next, what we are going to see is we are going to see about few more elements. The electronic configuration of each element. So, for example, we had sodium. We saw about the element sodium last week. Its atomic number is 11. Its mass number is 23. For students also have taken in the previous class, leave in the previous class, please do listen. So, atomic number is 11. Mass number is 23. Atomic number is represented with this symbol. Its number is 11. Mass number is represented with the symbol A, and you name it as 23. Atomic number represents the number of protons in an atom. So if atomic number is 11, number of protons is 11. In an atom always, number of protons and electrons will be equal. If you have 11 protons, the number of electrons will be 11. And mass number of an atom is equal to number of protons plus number of neutrons. Protons I represent like this and neutrons I represent it like this. So if mass number is 23 and number of protons of this atom is 11, so number of neutrons will be 11. If it goes this side, it becomes 23 minus 11. It is 12. Now, I'm just going to draw the atomic structure. So in the center of the atom, you have your nucleus. Inside the nucleus, what you have is protons and neutrons. So you have 11 protons and 12 neutrons. So inside the nucleus, I have placed my protons and my neutrons. Now, the electrons will be filled in each orbit. How do you find the capacity of each orbit? So I have my first orbit here. I might have my second orbit. How do you find the capacity of each orbit? So in the center, I placed 11 protons and 12 neutrons. Now, I have first orbit, I have second orbit, and third orbit, it goes on. So what is the formula that is used to find the capacity of each orbit? Yes, Yashwant Rishi, that's the right answer. Others, I'm waiting for your answers. What is the formula that is used to calculate the capacity of each orbit? Akshaya, yes, it's right. Good. Yes, Reshmi, right. Rashmi, I guess. Yes. So now anyway, so the formula that they have said to identify the capacity of each orbit is 2n square. Yes, exactly. 2n power 2. So where n represents the number of energy level or the number of orbit. The orbits are also called as energy level. So In the place of n, what do I do? I'll substitute, in the place of n, I'll substitute 1 to find the capacity of the first orbit. So 2 into 1 square, it is equal to 2. Again, if I wanted to find out the capacity of second orbit, it is 2 into 2 square. It is equal to 8. So the capacity of first orbit is 2 and second orbit is 8. If I need to find the capacity of third orbit, again I substitute 2 into 3 square. It is 18. Hope I have made it clear. So these are all the capacities of each orbit. Yes, Aditya Kumar, that was the right answer. Anyway, now let's continue. Now I'll start to fill the electrons in each orbit. When I start to fill the electrons in each orbit, in the case of sodium, the total number of electrons that I had is 11. So I have 11 electrons totally now. So first in the capacity, I'll start filling from the first orbit and I'll go move to the second orbit. So the maximum capacity of first orbit is 2, second orbit is 8, third orbit is 18. So out of 11 electrons, I'll place 2 electrons in the first orbit. So 11 minus 2, remaining I have 9 electrons. So in 9 electrons, I can place, in the second orbit, I can place maximum of 8. So out of 9 electrons, in the second orbit, I'm going to place 8 electrons. I have placed 8 electrons. Now I'm just moving to the third orbit. Clear? So now I have placed 2 electron, 8 electron. Now out of 9 electrons, I have placed 8 electrons in the second orbit. So remaining I'll have 1 electron. The 1 electron can definitely be placed in the third orbit because the maximum capacity of third orbit is 18. Above we can place less than that. So the electronic configuration becomes 2, 8, 1. This is the electronic configuration of sodium. Similarly, you can also write electronic configuration of chlorine. Its atomic number is 17. So it has 17 protons and 17 electrons. So in nucleus you have in the center, you fill it with protons and neutrons. So in the first orbit, out of 17 electrons, in the first orbit, I'll fill 2 electrons. Remaining, I'll have 15 electrons. So out of 15 electrons, 8 electrons I'll place in the second orbit. So now, out of 17, totally I have placed 10 electrons. Remaining, I have 7 electrons. So I'll take them to the third orbit and I'll place 7 electrons in the third orbit. So this is the electronic configuration. Electron distribution is, in the first orbit, I have 2. Second orbit, I have 8. And in third orbit, I have 7 electrons. Hope I have summarized whatever I taught you the last class. Yes? Do you have any doubts up to this? If you have, you can say it in the chat. May I move to the next topic? I wanted answer from everyone. There are 25 participants. Please do reply. Shall I move to the next topic? Okay, Srinita, I'm waiting. Just copy it down. Yes, Kanish, enough. Shrutika, you want me to explain it one more time? Yes, Shrutika. Yes, Akshay Abe. Yes, I'll repeat it one more time. Don't worry. See, listen. Totally, there are 17 electrons in the case of sodium. Okay, I have to fill these 17 electrons in each orbit. So each orbit has its own capacity. The capacity of first orbit, just now we found out that it is 2. Second orbit is 8. Third orbit is 18. These are the maximum capacity. We should start filling from the first orbit, then we should move on to the outermost orbits. So out of 17 electrons, I'll place 2 electrons in the first orbit because it is a capacity maximum it can hold. So I'll take the remaining 15 electrons to the next orbit. So I'll see if I can place 15 electrons in the second orbit. No, because the capacity of second orbit is 8. So out of 15 electrons, I'll place 8 electrons in the second orbit. Now remaining, I have 7 electrons. Now I'm taking the 7 electrons to the third orbit. Now I'll just see if I can place 7 electrons in the third orbit. Yes, the capacity of third orbit is 18. So definitely I can place 7 electrons in the third orbit. So I have placed 7 electrons in the third orbit. And totally the electronic configuration becomes 2, 8, 7. Clear? And one girl has told that she's not able to understand the second slide. See, each element has its own symbol. Okay, for carbon we say C. How to find out capacity? The capacity is found out with the help of the formula 2n square. Just now I told you, where n represents the number of orbit. If you need to find out the capacity of the first orbit, in the place of n, substitute 1. If you need to find the capacity of the second orbit, in the place of n, substitute 2. And it goes on. Clear? Okay. Now, these are all the symbols that is named after their Latin name or Greek name. For such sodium, the Latin name is natrium. So the symbol is Na. For potassium, the Latin name is gallium. So the symbol is K. For gold, the Latin name is aurum. So the symbol is Au. So this is how we give names for each element. Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to move to the next topic now. Hope I have made it clear to everyone. Yes, Akshay, are you clear now? Akshay? Fine, okay. So let me move to the next topic. So the next topic is we have to just see about how to identify the valency, or how are these atoms going to go to the next orbit, or how are these atoms going to combine with other atoms. That is what we are going to see. See, each atom wants to attain stability. Like us, even we want to become stable. Am I right or no? So which do we consider as stable? Someone who has lots and lots of money. He has so much of money with him, but he wants to be happy. Poor people, what they have, they do not have money with them. They want some money to be happy. And this middle class, they are in between these both. They need happiness, they need some money, they will be keep on fluctuating between. And there will be someone who has enough money and enough happiness. So those all the other people would want to attain the stability similar to that person who has enough money needed, not excess money, but enough money and needed more happiness is there. So all of them try to attain that state. So what will happen? The one with excess of money will lend the excess of money to someone, he'll give to the poor people, and he'll try to attain stability and he'll be happy. Similarly, the one who is very poor, he'll try to work hard, he earns some money and he'll be happy. This middle class will try to earn a little more money and he'll try to settle in a way like the one who's stable and happy, right? Same kind of thing happens with the case of atoms also. What happens with atoms? There are atoms that are quite stable. They do not react with anyone. Atom that are stable do not react with any other atom. Clear? For example, let me take neon. Neon's electronic configuration, atomic number is 10. Okay, so when its atomic number is 10, it has 10 electrons. So in the first orbit, it will have 2 electrons. In the second orbit, it will have 8 electrons. Similarly, argon. Argon is also stable. Its atomic number is 18. So totally it has 18 electrons. In the first orbit, it will place 2. In the second orbit, it will place 8. And in the third orbit, it will again place 8. So totally 18 electrons. So this will be the electronic configuration of your argon. Clear? So this is how. Now, but these two atoms, they do not react with any other atom. Not only neon and argon, also other atoms like krypton, whose symbol is Kr. Xenon, whose symbol is Ze, and radon, whose symbol is Rn. These gases, these are all gases. Okay, these gases are called as noble gases. Why? These fellows do not react with any other atom. They are stable in their own state. So what is the similarity that I found in all these atoms? In their outermost orbit, they have 8 electrons. Not only neon and argon, also krypton has 8 electrons in its outermost orbit. Xenon has 8 electrons in its orbit. Radon has 8 electrons in its outermost orbit. So from this, what do we understand? When does an atom attain stability? Please share your answer in the chat. These atoms are all stable and they have one similarity among them. Now, tell me, when is an atom said to be stable? From this, what do you understand? Exactly, Reshmi. It's right. Yes, it's right. So, I need answer from everyone. Even if you do not know, say, ma'am, you do not know. Satyamamita, when it has equal protons and electrons, it is neutral. Atom is neutral, but not stable. All atoms has equal protons and electrons only. Okay? That is other thing. Yes, Srinidhi, it's right answer. Okay, you have asked a question. When they do not have 8 electrons in the last orbit. Sodium do not have 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. 2, 8, 1. Chlorine does not have 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. 2, 8, 7. Okay. Rashmi, yes, your answer is right. Your answer is outermost orbit should have 8 electrons. When it has 8 electrons in the outermost orbit, they are said to be stable. Yes? Yes. Do you all understand? All these atoms, that is neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, these atoms has 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. That is the only similarity between these atoms. And that is the key for stability. Okay. So from this, we could say one thing, that the rule, you name it as octet rule. An atom is said to be stable if it has 8 electrons in its outermost orbit. Okay. Example, neon, whose atomic number is 10. Electronic configuration is 2, 8. Next, you have your argon, whose atomic number is 18. So the electronic configuration is 2, 8, 8. And it goes on. Clear? So these atoms are all said to be stable since they have 8 electrons in the outermost orbit. Okay, but note down this. Please copy down this. Then we'll go to the next slide. Darshana, having 8 electrons in the third layer, 8 in second and 2 in the first will not, is not the key for stability. Okay, that is the maximum capacity of each orbit. You can even have electrons less than the maximum capacity. Okay, so that is not the key for stability. Yes, Srinita, it's right. Okay, so let me move to the next page. Hope you all have copied it. Now, the next thing that we are going to see is helium. Helium's atomic number is 2. So what will be its electronic configuration? Yes, Aditya Kumar. Capacity and octet is totally different. So Kanish, your answer is right. So the electronic configuration of helium will be 2 because its atomic number is 2. It has only 2 electrons. The 2 electrons you can place in the first orbit itself. So I have placed 2 electrons in the first orbit. Now, helium is also called as noble gas. See, when there are many orbits, then if it has 8 electrons in the outermost orbit, it is stable. But helium has only one orbit. And in that one orbit, it has completely full. It has 2 electrons in it. This is also a key for stability. So we could say that the other one rule for stability is duplet rule. What does that mean? An atom is also said to be stable if it has one electron in its single orbit. Clear? That's it. So this is the duplet rule. Wait a minute. Please copy down this page. Then I'll move to the previous slide. Yashwant, please copy down this page. Then I'll go to the previous slide. Yes, someone is asking for doubt. Yes, Reshmi, what's your doubt? Wait a minute, Reshmi. Let me unmute you. Yes, tell me, Reshmi, what's your doubt? Please ask your doubt in the chat. Oh, sorry, it is 2 electrons. An atom is also said to be stable if it has 2 electrons in its single orbit. This is also a key for stability. Clear? Now, I'll just show the previous slide also. Please copy it down fast. Ma'am, which element are stable? They are said to be noble gas. Yes. The atoms that are already stable without reacting are called as noble gas. So helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon are all noble gas. Yes, electronic configuration of hydrogen will be 1. Hydrogen's atomic number is 1. So its electronic configuration will also be equal to 1. Okay, let me move to the next slide now. It's not configuration, it is configuration. You are configuring the electron in each orbit. Okay, now let's move to the next one. Now what we are going to see is valency. Okay, valency is nothing but it is the number of electrons lost or gained by an atom to become stable. Okay, first write down this definition, then I'll tell you examples. No. If an atom is completely filled in all 3 orbits, it is not a noble gas. All noble gases will have 8 electrons in its outermost orbit. It can be the 4th orbit or 5th orbit. Whatever might be the outermost orbit, it will have 8 electrons. Except helium, it has only single orbit. In that you have 2 electrons. Now, we are just going to see about valency. How to calculate valency for an atom. We just now saw an atom attains stability if it has 8 electrons in the outermost orbit or 2 electrons in the single orbit. Now let me come to an example. First example that I'm going to take is hydrogen. Its electronic configuration is 1. Now, please answer in the chat. What will hydrogen do? to become stable? Will it gain electron or lose electron? If so, how many electrons? This is the electronic configuration of hydrogen. One electron in the single orbit. I want answer from every one of you. What will hydrogen do? Will it lose electron or gain electron? I want answer from everyone. Yes, Rishikesh, it will react with some other element. How? Hydrogen's electronic configuration is 1. When it starts to react with other element, it tries to attain stability by either gaining or losing. I have already told you what is meant by stability. Stability means having 8 electrons in the outermost orbit or 2 electrons in a single orbit. Now, what will hydrogen do to attain stability? Most of you have given the answer as gain. Correct. So, now this hydrogen, if it gains 1 electron, it will attain which rule? Octet rule or duplet rule? Exactly. Good, Darshana. If a hydrogen gains 1 electron, which rule will it attain? Octet rule or duplet rule? Duplet rule. Exactly. It has attained the duplet rule stability. It has 2 electrons in its single orbit. So, what did I say now? Valency means number of electron lost or gained by an atom to become stable. So, what is the valency of hydrogen now? To become stable, hydrogen gained 1 electron, right? So, what is the valency of hydrogen now? This was that 1 electron that was gained by hydrogen. So to become stable, hydrogen gained 1 electron. So its valency is 1. Good. Okay, shall we move to the next topic? Next topic, next element is sodium. Sodium's electronic configuration is 11 and atomic number is 11. So its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 1. See, I'm just looking for the answers in the chat. Students who have not answered in the chat, I'll unmute you and I'll ask you questions. So please do answer in the chat itself. So sodium, the electronic configuration is 2, 8, 1. So tell me now, what will sodium do to become stable? Yes, it's right, Yashwant Rishi. Very good. I'm expecting for answers from everyone. What will sodium do to become stable? No, Kanish. There are 2 possibilities. Yes. There are 2 possibilities now. In the sodium has 2 electrons in the first orbit, 8 electrons in the second orbit, and 1 electron in the third orbit. Correct? So now, as someone say, to attain stability, it can either gain 7 electron or lose this 1 electron. An atom cannot lose or gain more than 4 electrons. Okay, always have this, because removing electron or adding electron involves energy change. So removing 7 electron from an atom is very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult. So what will sodium do is, it will give away this 1 electron. This 1 electron will be given away. So where this 1 electron is lost, now sodium will have only this 1 electron, it's getting lost now. So the electronic configuration of sodium now it becomes 2, 8. Correct? It has attained stability. Now, what will happen to the atom once it loses or gains electrons? All of you, please listen now. See, initially I had a sodium atom. I had sodium atom. Its electronic configuration was 2, 8, 1. Right? Its atomic number was 11, mass number was 23. So the number of protons that I had was 11. What is the charge of proton? Reply your answer in chat. What is the charge of proton? Good, Sarvesh. Good, Rishikesh. No. I'm asking whether it is a positive charge or negative charge. The charge of proton is positive charge. Yes, good. So here I have 11 protons. So I'll have 11 positive charge. Similarly, I'm having electron. In an atom, always number of electrons and protons will be equal. So the number of electrons is also 11. So the total charge here it is plus 11 minus 11. It is 0. So atom is neutral. Now what did sodium do to become stable when it reacts? It will lose one electron, right? So when the sodium fellow loses one electron, its electronic configuration becomes 2, 8, right? So now the number of protons remains the same here. The number of protons remains the same. There is no change in it. Like it is 11 protons only because protons was not lost. But the number of electrons here will be equal to 10 because it has lost one electron. So the number of negative charge will be minus 10. So now if you take the total charge, what will be the total charge now? Plus 11 minus 10, it becomes plus 1. Correct? It becomes plus 1. So sodium, after losing one electron, it gets a charge of plus 1. Why? Because, please listen, initially I had equal number of protons and electrons. This is proton and this is electron. Now, after sodium has lost one electron, the one proton will be dominating and one electron has got reduced. Am I right or no? So the domination of positive charge will be more. So plus 1, plus denotes proton and 1 denotes that you have one proton in excess. What do you mean by one proton in excess? It has lost one electron. Clear? So an atom attains positive charge when it loses electron. So when do an atom gets a positive charge? When it loses electron. Now, this was sodium atom. This is sodium ion. Ion means charged particle. 2 new terms we have introduced. This is sodium atom. This is sodium ion. It means charged particle. Clear? So, and the ion with positive charge is called as cation. The ion with positive charge is called as cation. Yes, Harshita. Harshit. Yes, Harshit. What is your doubt? Wait a minute. Harshit, please do ask your doubt in the chat.
Ma'am?
Yes, Harshit. Yes, Harshit.
Ma'am, can an atom lose only electrons?
Can atom
Lose
lose?
protons also, ma'am?
No.
Ma'am, can atom lose only electron?
Yes, atom can lose only electron. It cannot lose proton. I'll tell you why. Please listen
Okay.
here. So atom can only lose electron. It cannot lose proton because the protons are bound to the nucleus. The protons are there inside the nucleus. Correct? Protons and neutrons. The force between protons, the force between your protons and neutrons is nuclear force. This nuclear force is the strongest force in nature. This nuclear force is the strongest force in nature. Okay, and so it is very difficult to remove the proton from the nucleus. But the kind of force between positive charge and negative charge is called as electrostatic force. It is much weaker than the nuclear force. So electron can be removed from an atom, but never proton. Nucleus is highly stable. Once nucleus disintegrates, it leads to radiations, radioactive rays. Clear? Yes. Okay, 1 minute. Someone else. I too have a doubt. Wait a minute, Shrutika. You can ask your doubt. Yes, Shrutika, you can ask your doubt. Tell me.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you. Tell me your doubt.
Ma'am, you told no, ma'am. When the particular atom is not stable, they will lose one electron, no, ma'am.
Yes.
Once they lose it, they become positive, no, ma'am.
Once they lose it, it will become positive. Yes.
Ma'am, what happens to the thing which is stable, ma'am? Will it be positive or negative, ma'am?
It's neutral. An atom, it's see, atom, if it neither loses nor gains electron, it is neutral. Once an atom loses or gains electron, it gets converted to a charged particle. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else has doubt can raise your hands. Okay. Now let me just continue here. This is how the ion looks like. Have you all copied down this? Those who have not copied, please raise your hands. Yes, after it gets positive charge, it will become ion. Yes, Akshaya, when an atom loses or gains electron, mass number will not change. Even atomic number will not change because atomic number is based on number of protons. Clear? So atomic number will not change. Only the number of electrons will change. Okay? What will be the ion with negative charge? The ion with negative charge is called as anion. Let's see this one example, last example now. Let me take an element called oxygen. Its electronic configuration is 2, 6. So now, when its electronic configuration is 2, 6, because its atomic number is 8, so its electronic configuration is 2, 6. To become stable, what will oxygen do? Very good, Yashwant. It's right. Please answer your questions. Please answer your, give your answers through chat. Exactly. Very good. Most of you gave the right answer. Yes, it gains electron. It gains 2 electrons to become stable. So it had 2 electrons in the first orbit, and in the second orbit, it had 6 electrons. Now to become stable, it will gain 2 electrons. From where does it get 2 electrons? From the atom which it is reacting. That we'll see later. So it needs 2 electrons. It will gain 2 electrons. So once oxygen gains 2 electrons, its electronic configuration becomes 2, 8. Now, initially, the number of protons oxygen had was 8, and the number of electrons it had was 8. So the number of positive charge was 8, and the number of negative charge was also 8. So the total charge was plus 8 minus 8. It is equal to 0. Once oxygen has gained 2 electrons, the number of protons remains the same, 8 positive charge. And the number of electrons here totally becomes 10. So it has 10 negative charge. So as a whole, the total charge becomes plus 8 and yes, good Sarvesh, that's a good answer. Minus 10, the answer becomes minus 2. So the total charge of oxygen here, it becomes minus 2. So now you name this as anion. So when an atom gains electron, it gets negative charge. Okay. Note down this, then I'll give you homework for the next class. Yes, Ritika. What's your question, Ritika? Ritika, you have raised your hand. You are unmuted. Tell me what is your question. Are you going to ask, Ritika? Yes, Ashwanti. Yes, Ashwant.
When it gains, it get negative charge, right, ma'am?
Yes, pa.
Yes. Then why it wants to gain, ma'am?
Because it needs to become stable. When an oxygen was an atom, it has only 6 electrons in the outermost orbit. Once it has gained 2 electrons, it has become stable. That's all. Do you understand now? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Next, yes, Akshaya. Hello? Akshaya, yes, you can ask your question.
Ma'am, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I could hear you. Tell me what doubt you have.
Ma'am, an atom can gain protons also, ma'am.
No. That's what I'm saying. An atom, see, removing a proton is very, very difficult from a nucleus. The nucleus will be left undisturbed. Only an atom chemically reacts only because of electron. Clear? The nuclear
ma'am.
reaction is actually happening in the sun.
Okay.
It's the nuclear. So it involves lot of energy. So if the normal chemical reaction that is taking place in our body or the around us, if it involves nucleus, we cannot withstand it definitely. Clear? We are withstanding so many chemical reaction around us because it is just because of the transfer of electrons. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mute yourself. Yes, Aditya Kumar.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you. Tell Aditya Kumar.
Ma'am, is valency and stability same or different, ma'am?
Valency is the number of electrons lost or gained to attain stability. Stability means if an atom has 8 electrons in the outermost orbit, it is stable. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
If it has also 2 electrons in its single orbit, that is also said to be stable. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
That's it. Do you have any more doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now, yes, Kanish, what's your doubt? Wait a minute, Kanish. Let me unmute you. Yes, tell Kanish, what's your doubt?
Ma'am, from where does it get the electron, ma'am?
It will get electron from the atom that is this reacting. For example, you can take sodium. Its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 1. Chlorine's electronic configuration is 2, 8, 7. Okay. Now what will sodium do to become stable? No. What will
electrons of the third layer?
It'll lose 1 electron from its third layer. So it becomes sodium 2, 8. When something loses electron, it gets positive charge. It has lost 1 electron, so it gets plus. Clear? Now, after this 1 electron has been, chlorine, what does it need to become stable?
It wants 1 electron.
So that will be gained from the sodium. Clear? So chlorine will gain the electron lost from sodium and its electronic configuration becomes 2, 8, 8. Now, what will be the charge of chlorine? It has gained 1 electron. What will be its charge?
Ma'am, negative charge.
Minus what number?
-1.
Very good, very good. Now, this positive charge and this negative charge will combine because opposite charges attract each other, right? So, Na plus ion and 1 Cl minus ion will combine to form NaCl. This is called as sodium chloride. Understood?
Ma'am, salt, common salt.
Exactly, common salt. Hope you have understood, Kanish.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you can mute yourself. Very good, Kanish. Yes, Srinita, what is your doubt? Yes, tell me, Srinita, what's your doubt?
What if the protons are taken out of the nucleus, ma'am?
What will happen if the proton is taken out of the nucleus? Okay, I'll tell you, just mute yourself. When proton is taken out of the nucleus, what happens is, see, the protons and neutrons are strongly bound with each other, and the force is nuclear force. When nuclears bombard with each other, okay, it will emit lot of radiation, lots and lots of radiation. Example, I'll tell you, examples of nuclear reaction, I'll tell you. Atom bomb that was dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I think you all know that. That was the result of nuclear reaction. When nucleus bombarded, it will result in a lot of chain reaction. Those reactions will emit lots and lots of heat, too much of heat. Those heat actually our human body cannot withstand it. Nuclear bomb, yes, Kanish, it's nuclear bomb. Even the sun, inside the sun, the type of reaction is taking place when the nucleus emits, or when two nucleus combines with each other. The type of reaction that is taking place in the sun is nuclear reaction. And you all know how hot the sun is. Am I right or not? It emits lots and lots of radiation, which human cannot withstand. No one can go near it. Am I right or not? It's as a result of nuclear reaction. So nuclear reaction, it involves a lot of energy changes. Okay. There are still higher studies in this. You can read about it. Read about nuclear force. Read why is the nuclear force strongest force from the books. Okay, you can search in the internet. You'll get a lot of answers for your questions. Okay, now, anyway, I'm just going to sum up with today's class. I'm just going to give you a few more questions. Those questions are, for example, for the first 18 elements, not 20. Leave potassium and calcium alone. For them, the electronic configuration will be a little different. We'll discuss that why in the next class. But today's class, you people are going to write down the electronic configuration, identify, calculate the charge. So for example, oxygen, we identify that it gained 2 electrons. When it gained 2 electrons, what was its charge? -2. Please take a screenshot of these 2 pages, this page and also this page. Take a screenshot of these 2 pages. You have to write similarly for like this for 18 elements. That is the homework. The first 18 elements that I gave you already. For those 18 elements, I wanted you to write the electronic configuration. First, identify the charge of the atom. Then identify the charge once it gains or loses electron. Clear? This is what you're going to do, and this is going to be your homework. Hope I have made it clear to all of you. Do you have any doubt up to whatever is being taught? Thank you all. Okay, that was very nice session with you. Thank you all. Have a great day. Okay, bye. Please do complete your homework. I think 25 students are there, 23 students are there in the session today. So I'll expect for 23 homeworks, photos from you. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Yes, Grace, what's your doubt? What's your doubt, Grace? Grace? You can't understand the homework. Okay, the homework is simple. See, for example, you take an element called magnesium. Find out its atomic number. Then write its electronic configuration. Then, if its atomic number is 12, number of protons is 12. Number of electrons is 12. The proton has 12 positive charge, electron has 12 negative charge. So the total charge becomes 0. This is for atom. Now see what will happen, what will magnesium do to become stable. Magnesium to become stable, it will lose 2 electrons. After losing 2 electrons, find out what will be the charge. The number of protons remains the same, but the number of electrons, now it becomes 10. So the total charge becomes plus 12 minus 10, it is plus 2. So magnesium charge becomes Mg plus 2 once it loses 2 electrons. Like this, you have to calculate with the help of atomic number for the first 18 elements. Hope I have made it clear. Yes, Ashwanti.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ashwanti, tell me. Hope I have made it clear to everyone. Okay. Thank you all.
Ma'am, please show that 18 elements. Please show that 18 elements once more.
18 elements once. I'll just write it here. Hydrogen, helium, atomic number also I'm writing. Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon. Take a screenshot of this.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Next week, next Sunday, you will have your class. No, it's enough when you submit that. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye.